All right. This short segment with MS Trend Elite is going to be for admin users to add new members or to reset passwords. All right. First thing you got to do, obviously, is log in. First and foremost, the most important thing is many of you may have the ability to get under multiple databases. Make sure the correct database is picked and is in the top left corner that you're looking for. If you're not, you always can come down to view agencies and or the most recently viewed ones will be right here in this box. But come to view agencies and that'll give you the ability to look at whoever and all the agencies that you have the ability to look at. So once you pick the correct agency that you're looking for, click on it, and this box is going to drop down. Click Users. You can look at who's active, who's inactive, or if you want to look at both, you can do that. Or you can come over here and you can pick and just look by the permission group that they're set in. By far the easiest way is to come up here and start typing their name. Start searching, it'll pop up. All right. Once the employee or volunteer is up, all you got to do is go to account details, verify that they're putting in the correct user ID, and then come down and you can just click on the password box. It'll disappear and you start retyping a new password. Obviously, you have to verify it. Once it's verified, you'll see a check mark and then you can hit save. Also note that the password reset button is automatically clicked. So if they want to have the password you just put in, just make sure you unclick that button. Otherwise, when they log in, it will require them to put your new password that you just gave them and then require them to put in a new password of their choosing. All right, so that's how you reset passwords and verify people's user IDs. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. So we have a new volunteer, we have a new employee that we need to add. Again, ensure that you're under the right database. Once you go to users, you're under the correct database. You click new. All right. So there's a few things that you have to put in as the administrator. All this other stuff is really nice to have, and we should require personnel to put that information in. You don't have to do it all. They can add all this information in. You do not have to do it unless you want to. But there is a few things that we have to add. All right. So one of those is first name. All right. Last name. It has to have a name to be able to account for in the system. All right. Down here, when you're adding phone numbers and emails, it's a simple process. You just hit the add entry, type in the number, type what type of number it is. Same thing with the address, email address. Type it in and pick what type it is, personal, work, whatever. All right. Again, first page, demographics, name is the only thing that is required. Certification tab, EMS providers, they have to have a state licensure group. They have to have a license in the system. Without a license, they will not show up on an EMS report. So they have to have this box filled out. Employment. So under the employment tab for all fire departments, for personnel to show up on a fire report, they must have a personal ID. If there is no personal ID in here, they will not show up on a fire report drop down. So the personal ID is whatever you want it to be. There's no right or wrong answer on this one is whatever you want to put as your agency. If you scroll down, ensure that these buttons are clicked on yes. All right. Obviously, they're no now because I don't have a personal ID and I don't have state certifications in here. If I had state certification, I believe that it still pops up no. So you may have to ensure that it's clicked yes on the EMS run form and then again on the fire run form. But again, you will not have that option unless you put in a personal ID and a state licensure. Account details. This is where you put your username, password. All right, username is up to your agency and however you want to put the username. I know some agencies use the EMS certification number. Other people use first name, initial, last name. So it's whatever you want to put. Password. Password, you obviously got to have it in there correct in both boxes. There is no rhyme or rhythm to passwords. So just get something that's good and something that people just can't guess. Once you put the password in, if this button is not clicked, that is going to be their password if that's what they want. If they want to be able to change their password to whatever of their choosing, make sure this button is clicked. And then when they log in for the first time, it will require them to change their password. Permission group. Obviously, you got to have a permission group. Majority of people will be providers, but if there is another agency administrator, then obviously you can change right here to change them to an agency administrator. Agents, the only time you have to deal with this right here is possibly if they've locked themselves out of the system by putting in the wrong password multiple times. This may show inactive. So if they're having problems logging in, this would be one of the first things you want to come to and look at to verify that they're still showing active in the system. This is another teaching point. Remember, we never delete people out of the system. Once they're in the system, they're in the system. Only thing we do is once somebody leaves, we come in here and we inactivate them. That's all we do, inactivate them. All right. That's a short summary of how you add or change passwords and or add new personnel into the system. Most important part, just make sure everybody understands, here's the save button. Make sure you save when you're completely done. It does save when you go tab to tab, it does save information. But make sure you hit the save button at the end.